Welcome to another video. In today's video, I am pouring resin and creating this set. Let's jump right in. So the cool thing about this is that we're going to be using an IKEA vase. As you can imagine, really inexpensive, and the first thing I need to do is prime this. So obviously this is glass, and as you know, glass is very slick, so we're going to go ahead and prime it. If you do not want to prime it, I suggest you go ahead and just scuff it up with some sandpaper, just so that the epoxy has something to adhere to. Okay, so my primer is now dry. I can go ahead and mix up my resin. I have used my J Addiction Officials resin, and I have mixed up some sort of random colors that I felt nice. We're essentially going to be doing a dirty pour, so I need to mount up my vase on something, and what I've fashioned is just a bottle of water, a cup on top, and then the vase on top, because you want to be able to take the vase off once the resin thickens up. And the other thing I've also done is I have placed a silicone tray mold at the bottom of this. So as the resin drips along the vase, it's going to fall into the tray, and essentially we can make a matching tray. So we're not wasting any resin, and we can make matching set of this. So like I mentioned, I'm going to create a dirty pour cup, and I'm going to start all the way at the top of the vase and let the resin drip on the sides. And I have to tell you, this was extremely satisfying to watch. You know, just watching the resin flow, the movement of it, you know, these are the kind of things that are absolutely meditative for me when it comes to pouring resin. So I'm gonna just have some music on and let you enjoy the process. So once I'm happy with the coverage, I'm going to go ahead and use my fingers just to cover any blank spots where the resin hasn't been on the vase. And you want to be using a resin which is high viscosity and fast curing, or relatively fast curing for this, because you do want it to start thickening up as you pour, so that you're getting a good amount of coverage. So I'm going to use my fingers to cover any blank spots. Now at this stage, I am thinking that this is all looking just like one color, and it looks pretty, it looks nice, but I think I want to add a few streaky highlights. So I'm just going to use some of my leftover colors and drizzle on, and you know, you can probably see at this stage my resin is pretty thick. So I'm hoping it's still going to stretch out, but I'm still going to get that resin to stay, the new resin that I'm adding, that is. So once again, no right or wrong way to do this. Just have a play until you're satisfied with where this is going. And if you are liking this video so far, if it's inspired you and educated you in any way, make sure you subscribe and like and comment. You know, I always reply to all the comments, so I'd love to hear from you. So now would be a good time to do that. Okay, so my resin is pretty thick on my vase now, and I think I can move it to the side because there's not much dripping now. And let's look at what we have off the tray. So these are the drippings that we have on the tray. It's obviously not enough to fill up the tray mold, so I'm going to go ahead and mix up some more resin and fill up the tray. And this time I have mixed up this color from the pour, the one that I used to add the streaks to the vase, And I'm just going to fill this up top to the tray, and I'm going to use my popsicle stick and just move around the base colors and the new color and just sort of mix it up a little. At this stage, I have no idea what this is going to look like. So yeah, just having a little play and we'll find out together.
The next day.
Okay, so it's the next day. We are ready to unmold and I'm really excited to see how this has turned out. I'm going to start with the tray. And this is what it looks like. I quite like the colors, but again, there's not too much contrast in there. So I think at this stage, I'm thinking, what can I do to elevate this? But first, let's look at the vase. It has an amazing finish, I have to say. I was a little worried that some of the streaks that I added right at the end of the resin curing might be too streaky and might not have a smooth finish. And I might have to go in and sand, but I gotta say this is looking absolutely brilliant. Now I do need to tidy up the top edge because that is uneven and it's not an issue, but first I'm gonna use my deburring tool and get rid of the sharp edges on the tray.
A few moments later.
Now for the vase top, I'm heating up the top slightly and using a blade just to get rid of that uneven resin at the top, and then I'm just going to hit it with my sanding block to make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, so next, like I said, I want to elevate this to the next level. You could obviously stop at this stage. You know, it does look pretty, but you know, I can be extra like that. So I have decided I want to add some crystals to the vase and the tray. Now, every time I have some leftover resin, I pour them into some crystal molds. Usually they are my Art for Start molds, and I will link them in the description below. I absolutely love those. So these are some of the crystals that I have pre-made from some leftovers at some stage. And I've picked up these three sort of colors that I may use on this set. I'm still contemplating which one to use. So I have this sort of high contrast, very, very light pink, almost white, but slightly pink. And then I have these navy blue ones, which are kind of clear, but I'm thinking that they are too dark. And, you know, because I'm wanting to go for some sort of contrast, I'm not sure if the navy is the right choice. And then I'm playing with the purple. And yeah, I finally made my choice. I think I'm going to go with the purple. But yeah, I was really confused. So do let me know in the comments what color of crystals you would have gone for. So now to attach these, I'm going to have to heat them up slightly and kind of soften them, maybe even break them, just so I can sort of get them to fit around the shape of the vase, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's me heating them up with a heat gun, and I'm going to try and break some larger pieces into smaller pieces and kind of try and then mold them around the shape of the vase. Now to stick them out at first, I'm going to be using my heat gun. So I'm going to start with putting and placing little bits of crystals as and where I like, and use my heat gun to stick these down. So that is how much I have on the vase. I think I'm happy with that. So now I can move on to the tray. Once again, using the heat gun to stick these down. What I did decide to do is use the heat gun and create sort of an edge. And once my glue is a little bit tacky, I'm going to use silver leaf and sort of edge that just to add a little bit of more definition and some bling, because who doesn't like that? So that's what you see me doing there. And I'm going to do the same with the vase. What I also like to do is go over that and define it further with a marker. So I'm going to use this liquid chrome marker and just sort of define it further, the silver that I put down, that is. And I just also like the combination of the silver leaf and the marker, and just having two shades of metallic in there just adds a little bit more depth to it. So that's just what I'm doing there. And also it kind of helps to hide any imperfections that I have from the leafing that I did. Okay, so now to seal all of my silver leaf and the marker, I'm using some Mod Podge and a brush. And so that will nicely secure all of that. And when it comes to the tray, we can just go ahead and pour on a layer of resin as a clear coat, and that's going to secure everything and seal everything. And that's it. This is what this set looks like. I'm in love with this. At first, I wasn't so sure about the colors because, like I said, I wanted some contrast, and I feel like my dirty pour just essentially became one color. But absolutely love how this is looking now with the crystals added on. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!